let's begin. What is the first step in rounding? So the first step to rounding is to determine which place value needs to be rounded. Alright, so a brief introduction on rounding here. Alright, so we have rounding, alright, to a place value. If there are no specifications, you're gonna round to the place value most left of the whole number. Alright, so rounding to a place value, for example. Alright, we're gonna round to the hundreds. Alright, and we're gonna keep things quite simple here. Alright, all the general rules to rounding. If it's greater than 5, oh excuse me, 5 or greater, then you round up. If it's 4 or less, then you round down. Alright, and we're just gonna give you a brief introduction here. Right, so round to the nearest 100. Alright, and once again, I'm gonna keep it simple with you, right? And we're just gonna give you 127 here. So 127, right? So the rule states that we're just gonna round to the most leftist. All right, the place value most leftist. So in the most leftist, we're in the hundreds place, right? And we have a 1 here, so 100. Perfect, right? Now we're gonna evaluate the place value on the right, and the place value on the right is a 2 in the tens place, and 2 is less than 5 here. Alright, so this means that we need to round down. Alright, so when you round down, you're rounding down 127 to 100. You replace the 2 with a 0, and you leave the hundreds place alone because you're rounding down. You just leave what's asked alone, and that's because in the tens place value, it was a digit that was 4 or less. But go ahead, let's give some specifications here. And let's say we say round to the nearest 1,000, right? And we're going to give you a bigger number this time. All right, that way you could get a little bit more clarity, especially when it comes to word problems or solving any word problems. All right, so round to the nearest 1,000, right? All right, now we have specifications here. We're going to use 101,981. All right, so what does this round up to? Oh, all right, and we're going to round to the nearest 1,000. So let's identify which place value it is, right? So we've got a 1 in the thousands place value. So this means that we need to take a look at this at the hundreds place value. And in the hundreds place value, we have a 9. And the 9 is greater than 5. All right, it's greater than 5. So we're gonna replace that 9 with a 0 and add 1 to the thousands place value, what's being asked. All right, and this will round up to 102,000. All right, and that's kind of how it is now. Once again, I'm gonna go over it so that way you can have a little bit more clarity there. So we took a look at this 9, all right, because it said round to the nearest 1,000. So we're going to take a look at the hundreds place value. We notice that the 9 is greater than 5. We replaced that 9 with a 0, and then we added 1 to the thousands place value, which is 1 right here. And that brought it up to 2, and then we placed everything else with 0. All right, and that's 102,000